Welcome back to TTC Cars. I'm Brian.
I'm Craig, and I'm out of here.
All right, we're kicking Craig out. We're bringing in Ashton. Ashton's
going,
from
guys?
Stellantis. Craig's going to be a cameraman for us. And we've known Ashton for a few years. He's been our guru of all things SRT. We've done some fun burnouts with him in the past. It's been a good time. The future is electric, though. We keep hearing this. But it's not just that, so we're going to cover that today. And what do we have here?
So we have our newest model yet. This is the next gen Charger, 24 model year, two-door Scat Pack. So this is Scat Pack Stage 2.
Okay.
670 horse, all-wheel drive. And then this is the full battery electric. So 400-volt battery electric system.
Okay.
Yeah, 100 kilowatt hour battery, 2 EDMs in the front, one in the front, one in the rear.
Okay.
And then, I mean, it's still muscle car stuff. On the front, we've got a wheel end disconnect.
Okay.
And then on the rear, all of the Chargers will come with a limited slip diff. So mechanical limited slip diff on the rear.
Of course they have. Okay.
Yeah.
So in the world of EV, I'm thinking Nissan Leaf. You're thinking plug-in hybrid style vehicles as well. That's not what Dodge is doing. They're coming from the Hemi architecture and really lifestyle. They can't abandon that. And so burnouts are a thing. I want you to explain to the people what that front end disconnect means. And what can you do with that?
Yeah, so I mean, like to your point, we're not abandoning any of the performance, the attitude, the muscle carness. This is a true muscle car, just so happens to be powered with a crazy high voltage battery electric system, which in performance wise is nuts because imagine an outgoing ICE engine or a Hemi.
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting all the torque, 670 horse, you're getting that almost full amount of torque. Imagine you're driving around in an older car running at like 6,000 or 7,000 RPMs.
Right.
You're on that power band basically the whole time in this. So
it's always
the feeling
available.
that it gives you is just like the inertial thrust, and it's a visceral pin back in your seat.
Okay, you feel it in your chest. You know, when a high torque motor or turbo motors, you feel it here.
Yeah.
Every time I drive a fast TV, I go, oh no, that's what's happening.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. Okay, let's walk around and show the people the car a little bit, Craig. While we're doing that, Ashton, explain to us trim levels, because you've got two-door, four-door, you've got, what's your entry trim?
So it's fun. We're going to come out with a whole host of different versions of this Charger in the next few years.
Okay.
So the ones that we're coming out with in 2024 are the two-door versions.
Okay.
So we'll have the two-door Scat Pack and the two-door RT. Both of them are full battery electric.
Okay.
The Scat Pack's running at 670 horse. The RT's running at 496. So
Okay,
they're all-wheel drive.
So previously we had a Pentastar, obviously, was your like rental car spec Charger Challenger.
Run 300 horse.
300 horse. Then you had your 5.7 Hemi, which would be what the RT is comparably in terms of trim.
Yeah,
right?
in terms of trim. Definitely not power or performance, because
Right.
we've basically taken a step up for power and performance on every single trim level.
So you've jumped 100 horsepower basically with the old Hemi.
On the RT, we've
the
jumped
RT.
around 80 to 100 horse. On
Okay.
the Scat Pack, the outgoing Scat Pack is jumped at 180 horse.
That's insane. That's insane.
This one's too, I mean, so the numbers have jumped, also the performance has jumped. So now on the Scat Pack level, you are running Hellcat and Red Eye wide body 0 to 60 times.
Okay, so just a reminder, 3.3 to 60.
3.30 to 60, 11.5 quarter mile.
There you go. That's wild to me. So let's talk about, I wanted to get into the things that people can't read in the spec sheet. I want to show them. This is the track pack.
Yeah, so this is the Scat Pack Stage 2. So that Stage 2 means it comes with the full 670 horse. This one does have the track pack on it. So there's a bunch of awesome things. We're not walking away from performance, obviously.
Okay.
So we have this EV with a track package on it. If you look at the wheels and tires, they're bigger than the outgoing wide bodies. So the fronts are the same, the tires, 325s in the back, 305s in the front.
Okay.
This is the first time we've done a staggered setup too. So we've got 20 by 11s in the front with 305s, 20 by 11 and a halfs with 325s.
Okay, so the old wide bodies were square setups. So you
Square
had
305s all the way around.
Okay, so 325 in the back, 305 in the front.
Cool,
Okay.
And the cool thing about this is, like, we talked a little bit about this with the wide body. All of the Chargers are wide bodies, so it doesn't matter.
So come look right here.
It doesn't matter if you have the track package on it or not. That's the difference between the outgoing Charger and Challenger.
Okay.
So the wheels get pushed inwards on this new car. So the track actually changes. All the wheels will have different spindles, making it flush no matter what wheel package you have.
Okay, so your stance of wheel will look right on all of them. You're not gonna have this poke in or poke out situation. That's cool. I
So
like that a lot.
it'll be flush with the fenders no matter what package you get. And the cool thing about this one, especially the one with the 325s on the back, you look at this thing from the back, you can see those tires growing on the inside of the car. It looks like an actual drag car.
That's wild. So walk us through this, Ashton. We've got some aero here. I see I can wave to myself through. So what's going on here?
So this is one cool thing we got to do with the BEVs. Not having the engine in the front, we've got the two EDMs. So there's an EDM between the front axle and rear.
Okay.
It gives us more space in the front. We use this, we call it the R-Wing, and it's fully functional. Basically gives you less drag, but still allows you to have that flat muscle car face. So we still look like a muscle car, but if you actually look at where the arrow goes, you drop that leading edge down way lower than a typical muscle car.
Okay.
So you still get all the aero, you still get all the drag reduction from this.
Okay, and for our audience, so EDM is the motor, correct?
Yeah, EDM, electrical drive module is what we call it.
Are we able to look under here, or is that off limits?
Yeah, we can. So this one actually has a frunk in it, so it's covering the drive motor.
Well, let's check under here real quick. Okay, look at that. Well, I see orange cables, Craig, so that means don't touch, we know that. And traditional strut towers. So some people think that EVs mean that normal gearhead stuff is gone forever.
And they're braced. You can see you can't see that fully, but
there's a brace right here.
The brace running across. This car's got the plus group, so any car that has the plus group, it'll come with the frunk.
Okay, Ashton, let's talk about this real quick. So do you know cubic space of this? Looks like it's enough for like a couple backpacks.
It's 1.5 cubic feet.
Okay, that's not bad. And of course, you've got the checker pattern here because race car, right?
All the little details. I mean, the engineering didn't leave anything alone on this car. There's a bunch of Easter eggs on this thing,
love
too.
Easter eggs.
So there's about 8 Easter eggs.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you guys. So if you find them, let me know.
Okay.
And we can chat about them.
We'll get into that. Okay. Let's carry on and let's check out maybe the trunk before we get to the interior. So this is actually not a trunk back here on the Daytona. It's actually a hatch, like the old 60s Daytona. It's really cool. We can't open it now because of auto show mode, but we'll catch for B-roll later on. Cameraman Craig's back. Okay, so I love the retro logos coming back. That's really cool, and I see it in here as well. Is that a backup light?
Yeah, and when we turn this on at the end here, both the front and the rear Fratzog logos actually are illuminated when you're in drive.
I love that.
All the BEVs, so the Daytona, the RT, and the Scat Pack right now will have the Daytona embossment in the rear.
Okay, that'll
and then if you even look under here, so a very controversial topic, but the Fratzonic chambered exhaust.
Okay.
This is our new patent exhaust system for this BEV, and you're probably thinking like exhaust and BEV.
Right.
It basically gives the car feedback to the driver. So it's got throttle input, brake regen. So it actually audibly allows you to hear the different levels of brake regen you're going through.
Okay.
We've got paddles on the inside of the car to adjust brake regen. So you can adjust it on the fly.
Okay.
Imagine you're flying into a corner.
Yeah, you want an engine brake basically.
Full brake regen.
Where you normally downshift, come from a corner, you can do that.
Exactly. And the Fratzonic basically gives that feedback to the driver. So there's startup, shutdown, decel, throttle response.
So I want to break this down because the comments are already, I can hear them typing already. Is this just a speaker? Is there something mechanical? Is it a fan? What is it mechanically?
So it takes inputs from the car. So like I said, from throttle position, brake regen levels, and transmits that noise through 2 speakers, but then a big chamber. So that's the Fratzonic chambered exhaust part. There's actually a big volumetric chamber inside. So when we turn this thing on later, we're standing here, we actually feel the vibrations of it. It's not just imagine it's not just like a sound system in the back of the car. So it's an audible chamber actually pushing air in and out of that chamber.
So we'll think like NASCAR boom tube more than just pumped in speakers. Let's hit the interior real quick, Craig. We're about to get to the press conference, so let's do that. All right, Ashton, we've got it revved up. We've shown exhaust clips. Let's check out the rear hatch real quick and show people that, and then we'll show the interior in the front.
Huge amount of space increase from the outgoing. And we've got the seats folded down right now. So you can see it's a true load flat floor all the way up to the first row seating. I mean,
first of all, I can feel that in my chest a little bit from someone else revving. So a mountain bike fits in here, right? So
we had 2 go-karts in here at one time.
Let's go. Let's go. I'm in for that. That's really cool. That's really neat. You've got underfloor
storage. You can keep your, if you've got a level 1 for emergencies or at home, throw it in there.
Very good.
They all come with the tire inflator kit.
Okay, cool. Let's check out the front row of interior and then we'll wrap this thing up. So it's a power hatch as well.
Power hatch, yeah. Okay. And that comes on the Plus group. Yeah, that was one of the coolest parts.
Look how cool it is.
So you see the illuminated Fratzog logo in the front and in the rear.
Okay, very cool. A lot of we're talking off camera, there are a lot of 68 Charger cues, but still a modern vibe on it. And something I want to impress upon people on the internet, this thing is way longer in person visually than I think you realize. And I think that's kind of cool. It's like it's not trying to be this nimble Miata, it's trying to be a muscle car.
Yeah, I mean, we're embracing that. We from the outgoing Charger and Challenger, that was, a huge positive feature for our cars. They're usable, people can throw all their stuff in it. Same thing with this. It's actually got a little longer than the outgoing, so 121-inch wheelbase. Wider.
121.
Wider than the outgoing. I think I mentioned earlier, like we're a half inch off of needing fender lights on this thing. Full wide body.
So is that, Wait, you mean that's as in like the same rule for a Raptor?
Trucks and we almost ran into that problem on the outgoing.
So it's 79 and change?
Yeah, yes.
Unreal. Okay,
Yep.
so we're gonna check out the interior real quick. First things first, I've got to put this thing in Sasquatch mode, so the seat's gonna go down.
So these seats too are, they've got adjustable bolsters on them. So you can actually adjust how much the bolsters grip your sides.
Oh, okay.
And then it's got the leg extender as well. So
very German
for
of
taller
it.
guys. And
so I think it's interesting on an EV, there's no rev limiter. So it kind of just revs into space and comes back, right? That's kind of neat. Okay, cool. So let's walk through the interior. So what did you call this, the name of this?
So we are calling this the attitude adjustment lighting.
Hey, I'm talking to my kids. This lighting is for you. Get it straight. Adjust it. So I like this. This is really cool. So it carries on in the door panel.
Yeah, it carries on to the door panels, all over the dash, to the passenger door panel, and depending on which package you have in the car, this one's equipped with the carbon fiber and suede package.
Okay.
So you see there's suede on the A-pillars and headliner.
Oh, very nice.
Suede on the seats and on the dash, on the IP. And then all this is real carbon fiber. So
wow.
All that across. The mirrors have carbon fiber mirror caps on the outside as well.
I did notice, I like that these screens aren't just tied together. So not to bring in your competition too much, but one of my critiques of the current Mustang is it's one screen like a Hyundai Elantra or a Mercedes, or you just don't know what you're in. They're so similar. I like that these are separate and they're segregated a little bit. That's kind of cool.
And the design they did with it kind of pushed back, and there's different layers to that IP.
Okay.
It really does kind of make it driver-centric, where you're focused on that main screen, but you still have all the ability to mess with the car and do everything else with the radio screen.
Okay.
But that main screen is super tied to, well, we can't do it here because the car's in auto showed mode, but if we were able to put it in drive and start moving around, that drive mode button right there on the steering wheel.
Right here.
So you can either hit the middle button and it'll go to custom, or you can do track drag. Wet snow is a new one that we've launched for this year as well. But that changes the attitude adjustment lighting. It changes the steering feel. It changes the accelerator pedal feel and the suspension feel too. So, I mean, it literally changes how you drive the vehicle.
And I also want to give you that, you mentioned this in the press briefing, it's double adjustable dampers.
Yeah, so we've got dual valves on the suspension. So
compression and rebound?
Dual valve adaptive damping. The way that I know about it is basically having the dual valves, you can, on the chart, you basically can pick wherever you want that valving to be at, depending on what you're trying to do. So in drag mode, for example,
you can weight transfer and everything
we
else.
weight transfer everything to the back. The front end ends up going really soft. The back goes really firm to get all that weight planted on the back. But let's say if you're in track mode, so you wouldn't want that. So it's more firmed all the way around.
Okay, it's balanced out.
The propulsion system optimized for that. Like in drag mode, you're max power, full soft suspension in the front, full hard in the rear, full hard on the steering and accelerator feel. But then, like I said, on the track, it's more geared towards having a fast and prolonged, track day. So the power is not per se at 100%, but all the the steering's hardened, the suspension's stiffened, and you're actually putting it in the right mode for power to keep you on the track the longest amount of time you can. Okay,
that's really cool. Thanks for that explanation. Right before I close this out, pistol grip shifter, love the throwback. And then glass roof. Is there a cover for this, or is that's just what it is?
No, full glass roof. So this car has sun and sound on it. So that means it's got the full fixed glass roof.
Okay, so that's optional.
Yep, fixed glass roof on the sound. And then this comes with the Alpine 18-inch Pro audio. So we package those two together. Our Mopar team's always working on accessory stuff for this. But the cool part about this, and I know down in Texas it's crazy sunny. We've had a nuts summer up in Michigan. And we've been sitting in these cars in the beating hot asphalt parking lots, and the radiation from the sun, it's filmed, so it's actually a little bit tinted. There's not a lot of heat radiation coming out at all.
You also have crotch chillers and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, let's wrap this thing up. We've got a lot of people who want to see this. Ashton, thank you so much. It's great to see you again too. And stay tuned. These things will be hitting the lots before you know it. See you next time.